Well, it was a huge night on Channel 7 last night with Big Brother. Shane Vincent was the latest Big Brother housemate to be evicted, and he joins us on the Ben Robin Robbo show now. How are you, mate?
No dramas. Thanks for having me.
Well, it takes a lot of guts to join Big Brother. What was your decision for wanting to take part in this reboot for Channel 7?
I actually got sent the link from a bride that I married, and she said I'd be good on the show, and I hadn't heard of it for a long time. So I clicked on the link and applied, and lucky enough, they chose me to go on. I was surprised.
With the format changes being that it's so strategy based and you being from the GC, probably more familiar with the old school Big Brother, what was the biggest surprise that you found being in this new version?
Just having to form relationships and then having to stab people in the back, basically, and get them out. That was the hardest thing to do, because on the old Big Brother, you just were in there to have fun and be friendly and be nice, you know what I mean, and have a good time and drinking, you know. This is more of a strategic way of, I guess, the format, and having to win nominations to vote people out and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty emotionally draining.
Oh, absolutely. But, I did a bit of stalking of you online when I found out about you being on the show. And a lot of people talking about you being the most funniest, most vibrant, most lovely and sincere marriage celebrant. So you'd think that that would translate really well into winning some fans. I will say, watching you organically respond to making a bit of a blunder with your attack on Matt, is there any regrets that you have on making that attack on Matt, before you're eliminated?
No, I think moves have to be made in that show, and I don't regret making the move. Otherwise, it becomes a bit of a boring narrative if you just follow everyone around, like the alphas and stuff like that. So I don't regret making a move. I regret people not supporting me for making a move that they said they would. That annoyed me.
Well, this is the point that I really want to get to. I felt like maybe you didn't do enough research on your numbers. Maybe you didn't realize there wasn't as many people there. Was that maybe a factor?
No, I don't think the numbers. I thought I had the numbers because Ange told me to my face that she would vote for Matt, and so did and Sarah told me to my face she was going to vote for Matt as well. So with that, those two alone, we would have had numbers. So yeah, I think obviously I wasn't privy to conversations that happened behind the scenes. So which is it's quite annoying when you're sitting there and. Yeah, I was devastated.
Well, I wouldn't trust Angela with anything except maybe making herself a cup of tea. How do you feel like with Angela being on this show? She's a big player. I think it would be amiss of me not to ask you this question. Has Angela been the biggest presence on the show? And was she the biggest presence in the house?
I think whether she was the biggest presence in the house is debatable, because I didn't see her as a massive dominant person. She spent a lot of time looking at herself in the mirror in the bathroom and in the diary room and sipping tea in the cabana. So, I mean, she was never really part of a group. She was also always hanging out with Marissa in the cabana and just watching things happen, I guess. And then, but yeah, I don't think she was a massive dominant person in the house. When I landed in the cage, I could see that like Dan and Maddie were the alphas of the house, and these are the people that I had to make alliances with straight away, because I did come in late, so I had to hit the ground running.
I absolutely can relate. In 2012, I turned up. I was the last housemate to turn up in the house, and alliances had already been formed. And I remember thinking this is going to be my downfall. And surprisingly enough, I managed to come out good at the end. But look, I can completely relate to you
right,
when it. I wore them all down, is what I like to tell people. I wore them all down. Now, huge announcement in the media this week. It's an official announcement, not just me talking about it on my blower. But Big Brother's coming back for next year. So have you got any advice for people right now that are putting together their applications?
Yeah, be yourself, have thick skin, and be prepared to learn about yourself. So, and about what you can do, especially in those sort of high emotive states.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really good advice. And I think to wrap up, I think what we also need to say is, do you think that series 2 of this reboot is going to be very different? Do you think people will have learnt a lot from watching how this strategy has gone down this series? And do you reckon we're going to see a more strategic next season?
I think the people that will apply next year will know the strategic play, so they'll be more prepared, and it'll be even more strategic next year as people know the gameplay. So they'll have at least a bit of an insight to how the game is played now, as we didn't. We were sort of dropped in the deep end and sort of go for it. But yeah, I think people will go in there having a bit of a step up for next season. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. I hope they just show a bit more of the contestants, housemates' personalities and backstories, so Australia can get to love them. Because we did have 20 people in that house that Australia didn't really get to see. So
yeah, look, I feel like, they are already talking about the next series having a bit more of an extension. So hopefully we do get to see more personality. I will say one thing, though, and that is going on reality TV is hard because sometimes the perception of you can be a bit brutal. You, my friend, came across as a fantastic person and a fantastic housemate. I'm wishing you all the best. I don't know if we can do this, Rob McKnight, but can we plug your business as a marriage celebrant?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go on Instagram, Shane Vincent Celebrant, or www.shanevincentcelebrant.com.au, and check out my website. I'd love to marry you. Doing weddings, same sex, doesn't matter. Come on down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had some friends sending me some photos of your dad bod over the weekend, and that bod, my friend, is not a dad bod. That's life goals right there.
Mate, that's starvation in the Big Brother house.
Oh, I can relate. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Big Brother experience, and hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with you again soon.
Thanks, Ben. Can't wait to catch up for a drink.
It's a Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo show.